So here we are, episode 19 of Behind the Panels with Jimmy Purcell. This is me, Jimmy Purcell. I haven't done one of these videos in a while. It's been practically a month. I've been way too busy with stuff to make one of these videos. I didn't know it had been a month until I looked at the previous video and saw what comics I've been missing, what comics I haven't explained, and it was 4 weeks worth of comics. So I was like, shit, I should probably make one. So here it is. Quick intro because it's on YouTube. So I'm Jimmy Purcell. I make webcomics. The webcomics I'm currently working on is Spin Better, Dark Crusader, Book of Red, and there was a brand new Good Cop, Cat Cop within those 4 weeks. So let's get it started. Let's talk about Good Cop, Cat Cop first because it's only one comic, so that's pretty easy. In this strip, Cat Cop starts drinking out of the cup that Good Cop got the criminal. That was a lot of alliteration. Cat Cop drank from the cup that the Good Cop got for the criminal. My favorite part about this strip, and pretty much every strip that I do for Good Cop, Cat Cop, is when Cat Cop does something bad and continues to do that thing, but now with eye contact once it notices that people are watching. That's one of my favorite aspects of cats, is that they'll be just doing something bad, notice you're watching them, and continues to do that thing. Let's move on to Dark Crusader. It's a superhero satire comic. I always think of it being like The Tick, that the Dark Crusader takes himself way too seriously, and I love drawing that comic. It's weird that I have to go 4 weeks back to talk about the next Dark Crusader comic because that was the end of season 2. That was the big finale. So it's like I completely switched gears now. But now I have to talk about it, so let's talk about it. It starts off with the ass can being incredibly unstable, which leads to an explosion on the rooftop, and everyone's fleeing for their lives. There are 2 things I'd like to mention about this panel. One being Thrill Lizard down here. She's always the first to run whenever there's danger. Whenever she feels like her life is threatened, she's going to be running away. And I want to make sure to do that because she's Thrill Lizard, which is named after Frill Lizard, which is that lizard that runs away, and Rescuers Down Under. I wonder if we should make her Australian. Another thing I'd like to talk about in this panel is Sandbag over here carrying a knocked out curtain call and stage right. It's just a little character thing that I like to point out, that I'd like to put in the background. It's not necessarily written in a script, but I don't know, it shows a little more into who that character is. Now, the next panel was way too much fun to do. When I saw that in the script, I loved it because it's a cliche action movie ending. Having the whole the panoramic view of the cops arresting people. I loved working on the lighting in this panel. I loved filling it with a bunch of characters and lots of things to see throughout this panel. For instance, here's Dark Crusader and Phil in a loving embrace. What I did enjoy about that panel is drawing all the squad cars. I am not a fan of drawing cars. I don't think I do it well. I gotta get better at that. And that's it for season 2. On to season 3. At the beginning of every season, we have Dark Crusader at Comic-Con, and it goes up just before San Diego Comic-Con. Or is that at the end of each season? So then the next strip is actually the beginning of season 3. Can't remember. In this strip, we see Dark Crusader punch out an annoying attendee who's harassing an artist in Artist Alley. The grateful artist decides to offer Dark Crusader a free print for, an award. My favorite part about the strip is I didn't know what print to have the artist give Dark Crusader, so I figured it would be a drawing that artist did of Phil. On to season 3. In the next comic, we see the Dark Crusader trying to get into a phone booth that's already filled with some random naked guy. We actually haven't seen the Dark Crusader in his secret identity fat suit since Phil threw him out the window. The last Dark Crusader strip to talk about in this particular video is the one where Dark Crusader forces his team to take dramatic photos of him with the moon in the background. Looking back at that strip, I realized that I'm always going to remember what I was watching while working on it. I was watching an Art of the Deal, that movie on Netflix with Johnny Depp playing Donald Trump. So that's all Dark Crusader in those 4 weeks. Now let's get on to Spin Better. Now, I've been only updating that on Mondays ever since Book of Red started up again. Except for during Comic-Con, which during Comic-Con it was daily, so we have a few comics to talk about. The first Spin Better strip we're going to talk about shows me in a Black Lives Matter shirt, asking white people to stop being the white man. And I explained to the bigots out there, probably not reading this webcomic, how I qualify as a voice that they would listen to. But it doesn't matter, because there are still aspects of me that, make me a minority, and that is bad, apparently. The next comic is where I bring up the fact that Bernie Sanders has endorsed Hillary Clinton. I really don't like it that there are a lot of Bernie supporters that are calling him a sellout. I think that's really offensive and sad, because he did what he had to do to keep doing what he does for us. He's still in the political game. He's still trying his hardest to change the world for the better, and we have to support him. Now, he's always going to be here for me, and he inspired me to get more active in making the world a better place. And while he inspires me, and while I want to support him, I still can't vote for Hillary Clinton, and I will not vote for Hillary Clinton. And I made this comic before the DNC, before we found out how corrupt the DNC truly is. No, I'm not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. And in that last panel, I show that it's Jill Stein that's going to be the new star of my once-a-month political strips. On to the daily Comic-Con strips. It starts off with me, Nathaniel, and Abby on the escalator inside the con. Now, I'd like to point out this guy. I kept wondering if people noticed it, and I didn't say anything on the site, but I'm going to say it in this video. But I actually draw him in one strip every year at Comic-Con since 2013. Here it is for the first year, then here it is for 2014, 2015, and here on the escalator. The last panel is a group therapy meeting with a bunch of characters that have one big eye in the middle. No one said anything on any of my social media sites whether or not they can name all of the characters, so I kept wondering if there's anyone who read that comic that can either name the characters or at least name where they come from. The next comic, I call out Martha to get a bunch of Batman cosplayers to take a photo with Superman. I knew that security was going to be tighter at Comic-Con, so in the next strip, I want to make a reference to Neverending Story with walking through the first gate to the Southern Oracle. I thought it was funny. I'm a big fan of that movie, so I thought that was the best way to show tighter security. But I would like to talk about the costumes that me and Nathan were wearing in that first panel. I did, in fact, get dressed up as Vince Chlorophyll from the first Ghostbusters movie. It's been quite a while since I put on that costume, so I tried it on before Comic-Con, and I realized the pants were a little too tight. I thought I should go get new pants, but I didn't have time before Comic-Con, so I'm pretty sure that the pants will do just fine. They were doing fine until giant testicles ripped them. No, seriously, giant testicles ripped my pants. Photo or it didn't happen. The next strip shows that walking around Comic-Con is like being in the worst traffic jam you've ever been in. The Sunday strip, the last day of Comic-Con, was a lot of fun to draw because, first of all, I want to feature my cosplayer friend, Ada Mist. You can find her on Facebook. I don't know if she has everyone, but, whatever. Then I also want to make a reference to Pokemon Go. I don't play it, but I want to show what kind of impact it's having by putting it in the background. It's this last panel that I'm really proud of. There's a lot of stuff going on in this panel to look at and observe. For instance, I like drawing all the people in the audience with their cell phones out. That's a thing that I usually see at panels. And I didn't notice this until I drew this comic that people in a panel almost look like the Last Supper, the way that they're sitting on one side of the table. I don't know. Having Jesus there even made it more obvious to me. I like this lady right here taking a selfie with the audience. She's giving a thumbs up, and a selfie. The audience is behind her, and then this pitcher is wine because Jesus turned it into wine. The guys over here wanted water, so he didn't do it there. Let's see. There's a rabbi right here. There's a priest. And I figured that the moderator would be the Pope. And this screen right here is clearly on Jesus because look at his hand. He's got blood in his hand because that's what Jesus has. He's been stabbed. He's been from his crucifixion. So it was a lot of fun. The next comic was the July A3 explanation, and next strip is showing me at a burlesque class, being afraid that I'm going to fart during a dance move. That burlesque class was actually a lot of fun. I highly recommend going to the studio. If you live in Upland, California, you should stop by Gypsy's Performing Arts. Now, if burlesque is not your thing, that's totally understandable. They also have yoga, belly dancing, meditation. It's pretty cool. I highly recommend them. Well, that's it for the 4 weeks have been better. So let's talk about Book of Red. Now, Book of Red is a little trickier to talk about because they're not like just one strip that I can identify, that I can analyze different panels. So I'm going to pick specific panels within the pages that I updated, and I pick the panels that I think that there's something to say about them. The first panel I'd like to talk about is this one right here. Drawing the maze in the background like that was exhausting and fun. Basically, I took the lines of the maze that I had developed, and I skewed it, and then drew lines going from the walls to make it look 3D that actually have depth. That was fun. Again, very tiring. The panel right here is kind of interesting. The writing was actually going to be red because, hey, it's a Book of Red, why not? But this is a kid's webcomic, and that made the writing look too much like blood, so I decided to go with blue. I'd like to mention that this is my favorite page in Chapter 3. The thing I like about this page is that originally I was going to create a new ringmaster for this mini game. But I thought, no, why not? Why not have this reoccurring guy be like in charge of the mini games? And that made me think, all right, let's put lightning behind him the moment they see him again, because I thought that'd be amusing. Well, that's all I have for Book of Red. Now, the plan was that I was going to go for 11 weeks, but because I got so far behind in the beginning, it's actually going to go further. It's going to go until I'm done with 110 pages, so I guess I'm going to work on it until September. So that's it for webcomics that I've done. But I've done a bunch of artwork that's not webcomic related. The first being with 4-Color Fantasies. I did the new ticket for Doctor Strange, the private screening that they have for Doctor Strange. But that's in November, so I'm not going to post a ticket for you. I'll let 4-Color Fantasies reveal that ticket whenever they feel like it. The second one, I don't know how to pronounce this competition that my friend Katie is in, but it's for the Kings of Con show. Just here's the image that I did. They even shared it on their Tumblr page, so here's hoping that some of their fans will become, my fans. Alright, that's it. Gotta go. I gotta load up this on YouTube, and I gotta load up on Patreon. You can see all the previous episodes on Patreon. The only reason why this is on YouTube is because it's the 1st of August. Hopefully not the only of August. Hopefully I get time to do more of these videos. But I gotta load this up. Then I'm gonna work on the Dark Crusader comic, because that's due by tonight. And then Book of Red is due on Wednesday, so I gotta get that all done. And what else? I have a bunch of other artwork pieces that I have to... Oh, and for Pomona Art Walk. Pomona Art Walk is next Saturday, and I have a cool piece that's coming up with that. The theme is death, and you're more than welcome to join us. I'll post a link to the Facebook page down below. So, yeah, until next time I record a video. See ya.